The first thing is the video of the business part of the entire meeting, I believe, is at our website. It will be there in a week or two. So if you have any questions about the business part, the transacted, I think it was just the vote and acquisition of the Laguna lathe. You can check that out. Symposium. I went. I was happy to see that this year's shirt, for those of you who bought shirts here, was embroidered. In previous years, it's always been ironed on or whatever. This year, it's embroidered onto the backup patch, and it's a nicer quality. But I do have a complaint that every year the larges get smaller.
Well, I've noticed.
And it's time to switch to extra larges.
Right.
The 3X is really a problem.
And I can go for the off-the-shoulder look. Okay, it's an odd-numbered year, so that means we have a call for officers for treasurer and vice president this year. You got me for another year, and
Then we can re-elect you.
what's that?
Then we can re-elect you.
I don't face re-election if I run next year, until next year. But we have a call now for people who will stand for the positions of treasurer and vice president. Those are two separate positions. We'll call again next month, and the order of the drill is we accept nominations up until the vote by hand in December's meeting. So if anybody, including those out there on Zoom, I'll be honest, we have a definite preference for a treasurer who is local because our bylaws require 2 signatures, president and treasurer, on checks over $200. So I don't want to exclude anybody if there's somebody out there on Zoom who's really clamoring for treasurer.
Say what the vice president duties are.
Oh, okay, the treasurer is obvious. The vice president has one huge responsibility. He or she has the sole responsibility of rounding up demonstrators and topics each month for 2 solid years. Positions are all 2-year positions, and if you quit in frustration halfway through, we'll be very disappointed. But I will say, whoever stands for the position and gets elected, John Kelsey will give them a hand. He has a head full of ideas and names to put with the ideas in many cases. From his background in with woodturning magazine, woodworking magazine, he knows a lot of the things that are appealing and will work well for a demonstration. And the board has decided to create an audio-visual committee. There is no vote on this. It's just the bylaws allow us to have any number of committees that can be created and then done away with. It's an ad hoc kind of thing versus nominating committee is a requirement by the bylaws. All other committees can come and go. So, John, have you spoken to Peter? Oh, just John. Have you spoken to Peter, or is this coming as a surprise?
I haven't done anything about that. I haven't spoken to Peter.
Peter, we would like you to head up and be the key guy here on audiovisual committee. You won't have a duty to find anybody or round anybody up, just to keep us operating. You're good with that? All right. We have formed the audiovisual committee.
Mr. Ziegler is also going to help. Yeah, I'll help you.
Oh, so you're part of the committee.
Vice President.
It's so easy to get
If anybody else, Doug, you want to be on the committee?
No, I wanted to know what the committee was actually doing.
What?
I wanted to know what the committee is actually doing. I mean, audio I can see, visual I can, audio I can hear, visual I can see, but what are they doing? Getting stuff to the library, putting together?
No. This is to keep us to be able to broadcast the meetings
Okay.
and have the audience out there watch
Barry,
us.
can I talk to this for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, the club has several online activities. The monthly meeting needs to be broadcast and recorded and posted. We have a website that there's constant stuff, new stuff coming on. Mike Junkerth has done a terrific job with that and will continue on, I believe. I do Thursday morning coffee hour, which includes recording and posting a video. So we have a lot of online activities. And we just want to make sure that we've got somebody who's got an eye on all of them, who can call a meeting as necessary or bring in extra hands as needed to keep all these balls in the air. Because we've been very successful with it so far, but it has taken a bit of attention. I'll say here that both Ben and I have been in our current jobs for 4 years. I need to step down for health reasons. I'm available. I'm very interested in the club, but I can't commit to being on scene or even available to meet every time, but I'm around and I'm going to stay around. So that's why I'm not off. The only thing I would like to continue doing is Thursday morning coffee hour. So if that's a help to anybody.
Yes, thank you, John. That's a good description.
Okay.
By the way, Matt Kelereski has been processing and uploading our monthly meetings. So he'll be a great candidate to also be on the audio-visual committee in case you need to catch up on something.
We've been operating informally as if we had such a committee, but it's time to make it a little more ongoing so we have continuity from year to year.
Okay, thank you, John. Before we do the treasurer's report, it's kind of an announcement thing. A couple of months ago, there was an email thing that got forwarded out by Tom Wenzel to the membership on a gentleman who used to be a club member. But anyhow, he developed dementia, and his son moved him into a community down in Annapolis, Maryland, he and his wife. And so he had a shop full of turning and other shop woodworking equipment that his son was having difficulty with how to sell it remotely from Annapolis when it was sitting up here. Well, when the house sold a few weeks ago, and he had to clear it out. And I agreed, rather than having him incur storage fees of about $180 a month, to go ahead and store it in a bay in my garage. And so that's where it is. And the provision that we worked out was that whatever we sell to club members, and I'll be sending out this week, I have photographed and itemized everything that we have. And in general, it's being offered at 1/2 of the new price. If it shows any kind of wear, it goes down from there. If it's pristine, it goes a little bit up from there. But the thing is, the club will get 20% of net sales as for our fund, for our general welfare here. And so it is a chance to make some nice money for the club. There's I think 21 gouges and scrapers and chisels of different forms, some very nice ones. There's, I think, 8 chucks. There's a lathe, the Nova DVR XP, I think. It was the first generation of completely digital. And it's got every feature you can imagine on it. It's got a bed extension and outboard turning. The head rotates 360 degrees. you can turn outboard to a 34-inch diameter. It's very nice, and that'll be one of the things that'll be for sale. Most of the power equipment is pretty much open shop, like a belt sander, a belt disc sander, bandsaw, general shop dust removal, or what do you call it? The bag, cloth bag, and it's not called a vacuum. Yeah, it's dust collector basically. And then there's also an overhead air handling thing with filter on it. There are some other tools that just aren't coming to my mind right now, but it'll all be coming out in photos.
Excuse me, thanks. Barry,
Yes,
is any of the stuff in that stack going to be considered by the club for club purposes here? Because I know we're always on the lookout for tools.
I will. It was my. Now, I have not cleared this with Mark Andrews, the son of Bob Andrews, but I'm thinking he would be happy with whatever I can't sell to donate. As far as, first off, I really can't justify donating anything to the club because it's not.
I was wondering if the club was going to outright buy them like we did with
I'll second that.
Sure.
And I'll second that. Club should buy what it needs.
Okay, well, you'll see each of the chisels priced, and you can look up their new price. And I will say, in the case of one gouge, it has been used to the point where it no longer is gougeable, and so I reground it as a pyramid tool. It's a 5/8 pyramid tool, so it's a big pyramid, but it's a nice gouge pyramid.
Well, I think that it would be worthwhile for the tool committee to literally look at buying some of those tools on behalf of the club as opposed to just having Bob donate them. So anyway.
Well, I should have thought, and I have them all in there's like 70 pounds of tools, of gouges and chisels. I could have brought them up tonight. They're all in one big box to lay them out here. I don't want to wait until next month to do that. I just don't want to keep the guy waiting forever. I could bring them up to open shop on Saturday. I don't know how many would be here.
That'd be good. It will also be good to bring in any like general shop tools like wrenches and socket set. Like
There is none of that.
there's none of that.
No, there are no. I guess if it was easily transportable, or Mark Andrews didn't know a chisel from a chuck, and so I think he didn't want to identify anything. But somebody could identify pliers and wrenches and so on, and we got none of that except for like Allen keys that go with a particular tool.
Gotcha.
So how's it going to proceed then from here, Barry?
What's that?
How's it going to proceed from here?
I will send out an email with a ton of photographs, and I'll name the item, and you can, in every case, I think you can find the item on Google, on Amazon, or Packard, or one of the wood turning places, and you can see what is the new price, how much has been ground off. In most cases, it's, unless somebody gets busy reforming the tool, like scrapers, they only encountered maybe a quarter or 3/8 of an inch of wear. But if somebody keeps changing their gouge to a 25-degree bevel, 50-degree bevel, and it just eats gouge as they do that. And I think that was the history of one of these tools. But I will advertise them. If somebody does want me, and I'm not going to bring a bandsaw up here, but if somebody wants me to bring a tool to the open shop, I'll be happy to, or at least let them see the photographs that I have of it. But they'll be coming out online. I know I can get the chisels and the chucks out like tomorrow. I already have them listed in price. But the other things, I haven't looked up their prices yet. Do the treasurer's report.
Yeah, I got a treasurer's report. In the last month, we took in $335 in donations to the Tools Fund after the last meeting's discussion about buying the Galaxy lathe. We took in $45 in new dues from new members. We had a couple of two new members. And we spent $750 on the Nova lathe, or what is it, a Nova Gallet? Well, I forget what it is. But the one you're talking about that we just bought from Angelo. The Laguna. And we spent $14.25 on a book of pre-printed deposit slips for the bank account. So we have a total of $2,688.72. While I'm talking, I'm also going to mention about open shop a week from Saturday. I'm planning to come and have a clinic for anybody who wants to on boxes with fitted lids. And you know, I'm not professing to tell you the be all and end all. I can show you what I do and talk about what you do, and we can figure it out. And I'm also going to do a little bit of make a few tops like Lofgren does with a skew. That's a really fun exercise. So anybody who wants to show up on Saturday the 14th, I guess it is, I'll look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, John. That was like my next item I have on my list to talk about the open shop. We want to, we noticed that maybe it was just a phenomenon that only about 5 people showed up for the last open shop. And I was not one of them. I was at the symposium, I think, or no, there was something else going on in my life. Anyhow, to try to encourage people back, a lot of the clubs that have open shops have really seen their participation increase when they promote turning fundamentals, and that is like when John and I got talking about this, and he already had his the box mentoring, if you will, box making, mentoring, and demonstration in mind. But I want to have people who can step up and demonstrate the individual tools for the range of their use. Even if you become proficient with the skew, which I don't claim to be, I'm in the category with the skew. But there's one thing involved in just making a rolling pin. There's something else involved with making nice, tool handles, concave curves, how far you can take it before you're going to bite in, grind angles, grind shapes on the tool. And the same with roughing gouge. Most people know how to use a roughing gouge to turn it from a square blank into a round blank on the spindle. But I've seen people use that roughing gouge almost like a detail gouge, as long as you don't get into a cove or some kind of tight curve. It's a very functional tool. We're not constantly switching out to some other tool. And so we'd like to start. You can come and do whatever you want to do. If you want to turn a bowl, you want to make a mallet, have at it. We got 4 lathes. You can do that. But for one of them, we want to have a series of volunteers who consider themselves, if not expert, proficient enough to demonstrate and mentor others on the use of the tool. And so while next month will be, or next week will be box making, we're looking at going forward. Like I say, it can be like a dual track thing. You can come and do whatever you want, or you can watch and learn the fundamentals of a particular tool or a particular, like in this case, the box, making a goblet. There are a lot of subject items that beyond the demonstration, to get your own hands on it and get working it and turning the block into a goblet, the real experience. We need volunteers and topics for upcoming demonstrations. It's always hard, as the Vice President can tell you, it's always hard to find somebody who is available and confident and interesting, all in one person.